Welcome, everybody, to our next live session. This one is Unleashing the Power of Video. Not surprising, since TradePending acquired a video platform, Snapcell, a couple months ago. It's been fantastic. And what's been so great about it is we have all of this great knowledge here in-house that we get to share more broadly with the world now. And you've got me here, Matthew, Chief Marketing Officer here at TradePending. And we're very pleased to have Mari Fonseca with us here today. Hey, Mari.
Hello, how are you guys doing today?
Doing great, thank you. I'm sure the audience is as well. We'll get back to you here in a minute, give you a chance to do more of an introduction.
Perfect.
As we always do, we record this, we share it out afterwards. If you have questions while we're going through this, put them in the Q&A, and we'll answer them as we see them or at the end. And if we miss them, we'll get back to you afterwards. If you haven't noticed it yet, we have the 5 days of fall going on right now, or actually it starts on Monday. This is where we give something orange away one day the week, next week. So we're giving away one pair of these orange Nikes, an orange putter, an orange cooler, an orange guitar amplifier, and the orange chainsaw. All you have to be is a dealer to sign up. It's free, no obligation. You can find it all over our social media. Can't miss it. Speaking of social media, if you haven't yet, check out TradePending TV. That's more of me and my face. We do man on the street interviews asking people about things about automotive. It can be absolutely wild. And we've got some thought leadership content that we publish out there as well, too. All right. So to the meat of the presentation here, we're talking about what makes great video. Mari, give us some context. Who are you? How did you end up in automotive? How did you end up here today with TradePending? Take it away.
Oh, thank you, Matthew. I appreciate you. Well, hello, everybody. For those who don't know me, my name is Mari Fonseca. I am a customer success manager here with Snapcell with TradePending. And pretty much how I started in the automotive industry is I did start off moving to Tallahassee, Florida, and got a job at an auction, which is where I started out taking money pretty much from dealerships. It was a very private auction where you needed to have a very specific license. So that's kind of where I started off, made a lot of connections, led me to being a BDC agent at a Toyota store, which led me to sales at Mazda. So that is pretty much my background prior to coming into Snapcell, which of course we're very excited to review some great tools and great advice on how to create a great video.
So you've been there and done that. And to kick it off, it's always good to tee up some context, why the heck this matters, without having to talk about, well, 33% of millennials do video. Like, we're not doing that. Why does it matter, Mari? Tell us.
There's a lot of different tools and ways as to how you can make a video great. Why does it matter? And the first thing that I always say is it always starts with management. Leadership is a number one rule. If your team is not following you, when I come in now as a Snapcell executive, I'm going to be their customer success manager. It's not going to be pushed unless management believes in it first. So that is pretty much the start, where we now get an interaction with the management team, say, hey, this is how we want it to work. Tell me your ideas. Tell me what you want me to follow behind, because whatever the manager places, we follow. So that is the main thing, most important. Of course, next point, everybody's on social media. I think that's the number one thing. Matthew, you said it yourself prior to, including me on here. Social media is a very powerful thing. Social media has pictures, videos, where now you're connecting all around the world. Same thing in the car industry. Why aren't we doing that more with our clientele? Our clientele is going to feel so much more special with these types of videos where the salesperson just has to click go 1 second, lift their finger when they're done recording, and now their customer gets a completely different experience than another dealership. Besides that, of course, brings us to my next point, where video takes out the bad reputation from a dealership. Now you're able to kind of change that customer's perspective and mindset as to not being afraid to walk into a dealership anymore, making that connection with not only their salesperson, but the management team as well. So, of course, relating to people, humanizing the experience is the number one priority. And I'm more excited to speak to you guys about that soon.
I think the one point that struck me here is this. And it sounds, maybe I worded it weirdly, but you see, you're so used to seeing strangers' faces on social media all the time. And sometimes that's the reticence of people to want to do video. It's like, I don't see myself on video, which is a great objection. We can come back to that. But we're so used to seeing people that are strangers on the internet. It's just people accept it. It's not weird like it used to be. Maybe it is for some people, but it's not weird anymore.
Exactly.
All right. So what do we mean here by answering questions before people ask them?
I think it's exactly how it sounds. Anytime a customer comes into a dealership, especially for a salesperson or just anybody in sales who has been here for a while, will know exactly what the customer is looking for. As a salesperson, you are guiding your customer through the entire process, and guiding them through video is exactly that.
Awesome. So there's a lot of, not a lot, there's a handful of video platforms out there. They all have different features, different things. So, but ultimately what they're doing is making it easy. And so why is this important, and what specific pieces are we trying to make easy for people to do, Mari?
Yeah, absolutely. So like I mentioned before, making a video is very simple. Anybody can do it. As you said, Matthew, strangers are coming up all the internet, sharing their stories or just sharing their experiences anywhere. Same thing with Snapcell. With Snapcell, now the salesperson can go ahead and include the customer through the entire process. Very simple, very easy. There's actually a few tips that we're going to show you later on in the presentation to help out with this exact thing. As you can see, you have a few different examples as to what salespeople can send versus what they should. So now we're catering not only through video, but also through those little comments where now it's kind of clickbait, if you want to call it that, where the customer is going to say, wow, hey, here is that truck that I inquired about. I see it on the thumbnail versus, you see the kind of moving face.
Right, instead of this.
Exactly. Very close, very personal. They don't know who I am yet, even though if I can go ahead and give a smile, nothing is going to change that perspective versus in having the vehicle there, having that in the title and getting excited for that process.
And the other piece of it here that I really like is if you receive a text message and it looks like the one on the left there, that looks kind of spammy, like you're not touching that. But if it's personalized and it's so easy to do, you're going to get higher engagement on that there.
Exactly.
So there's a lot of touch points of using video. Walk us through how you think about it.
Well, I think that video should not just be kind of some dealerships taken as, well, we're going to do this for introductions, or we're just going to do this for thank you for your business. And I think a lot of lack comes into the middle follow-up process. The introduction is, of course, extremely important. That's the first type of video that the customer will be receiving. Matthew, you'll be able to see my face for the first time. I'll be able to make that connection. Hi, Matthew. Thank you so much for your inquiry. It's going to feel like you already know me prior to you even coming into the dealership. So now when you walk in through the door, you'll say, that's the salesperson I'm working with. You already know what you're coming in there for and what to expect. Now, moving on to the follow-up process, you've already come into the dealership. You tell me about your wife, your 2 dogs. It's going to make a huge difference for me now to say, thank you for coming in, Matthew. It was a pleasure meeting you and the wife. Hey, by the way, that Tundra that you were interested in, your dogs are going to fit great back there. It's just going to add a personalization that a text message or perhaps an email won't go ahead and send. It's just going to be more personalized now, knowing, oh, wow, she remembered as to why I want to purchase this vehicle, making that experience more special to you. Guiding you through the process now, getting close to that point where we're getting close to the sale. You want to come back in, do a credit application. You go back home, have to talk about it with the wife. Well, once again, a video comes in where I can explain once again, if I have already went over the gap insurance or pricing, anything like that, you can just go over that once again through a video. Thank you for, the experience, and wait for you to come in. So now I can send you a thank you video. So of course, all of this process goes together, and we also integrate with service. Of course, we have service accounts everywhere, which also jumps in where now after your purchase, Matthew, you come in 5 months later, ready to service your vehicle, and your service technician will be able to send you exactly what he's walking you through.
Thank you for that. So shifting over, so we're talking about what is an optimal follow-up process here. That's one of the bullets of the webinar, and you have lived this yourself working for dealerships. And so what have you found through that experience, as well as now being on the vendor side and the partner side with Snapcell and TradePending?
Well, I think great follow-up is exactly, what I just mentioned, that personalization, that, kind of get to know me, already feel like you have a complete relationship with me. We've been friends for many years now, just simply because I sent you over a video. So a lot of times dealerships will say, okay, well, a video means you have to click in, right? More engagement. But customers appreciate the fact that the dealership is placing in that extra effort. Countless of times I've had dealership reach out to me and say, I've had this customer specifically reach out or leave a review simply because we sent them a video and kind of kept them through the process the entire time. Of course, we want to be respectful of this. When I say, send the video, I'm talking about every single time I know that there's something new, or to follow up with you, Matthew, if you didn't come into the dealership, if I had to kind of be following up with you a little bit more often to get you to come in. So with that being said, SnapSell offers a lot of tools for you to do that 3-day, 5-day, now 7-day, kind of similar to a process that dealerships already have in place with sending messages, phone calls, emails, and now with video as well. So you're kind of able to go round table, choose each one, be respectful of the customer's time, just as you want them to be respectful of yours. You are able to reuse videos in SnapSell, which is amazing since, of course, some salespeople don't have a lot of time, managers as well. Those managers that like to send out videos, you are able to duplicate, but of course, personalize is always best, like I've mentioned.
And I think the key point there is, if you were thinking about something like a video that's setting expectations of what's going to happen when they show up in the dealership, you can personalize that intro, you can personalize the outro, and then you're stitching in the content that's been pre-recorded. So that way it takes you 10 seconds as opposed to 50 seconds, and you can bang them out really quick.
Yeah, and a lot of people don't even know about the fact that you can plug in videos, not just from your video library from SnapSell, but also TikTok, Instagram, your camera roll. So there is endless options with SnapSell as well.
So one of the most powerful forms of follow-up is the thank you. And Mari, what did you experience when you were working, and what do you hear now?
Well, in sales, the number one thing was that relationship that I kept with my clientele, where even up to the point where I left, they were calling me and saying, hey, Maddie, my son now wants to, come visit you. And having that relationship where it now transfers on not only from me to you, Matthew, but now you're going to tell your cousin about it and your sister about it. And now they're all going to come together. It's going to be kind of a referral that's already going to start happening for you while the process of me working with you as my customer. The thank you for coming in video is extremely important. A lot of dealerships don't even realize just how big this could be for their dealership just by one simple take. Just adding that little personalization of what you mentioned to me, just knowing that I was there listening. That tends to not happen all the times when we have conversations, especially nowadays. You tend to, okay, I'm having a conversation, but are they listening? And just that reiteration in through a video from a salesperson. Again, dealerships don't have the best reputation. So changing that all through this video is massive. And again, just putting in those points can make all the difference in the dealership world.
Right. And just the bullet says repeating back what you heard. It's just taking that conversation with that you had with the customer and saying, oh yeah, I heard you say this and this and this, and you're not necessarily trying to sell, you're just trying to relate back to them as people, as humans, and that's where the engagement becomes really powerful.
Exactly.
Oh, we got some bonus tips.
Oh, we do. And this is kind of what I did mention a little bit earlier about the extra tips. So like I mentioned, of course, if you are a busy person, you still want to make those personalized videos, but how do you get assistance with that? Do you have to come up with a title each and every single time? No, you don't. I always tell my salespeople in the trainings, do what I did. Do what I did as a salesperson. Send yourself on through email, an email to yourself with 5 basic titles, one for thank you for coming in, for introduction, 1-year anniversary, happy birthday videos. Why not just make it easier for yourself? There's so many shortcuts that you can do to help yourself out. I have a MacBook and an iPhone, so I place it in my Apple Notes. So that way, if I'm in the application, copy and paste, go right over, send the video, I am done. Same thing with the recorder screen and yourself at the same time. If Matthew, you have to go home and you're going to be out of town for a week, but again, you want to speak to your wife about this, you are interested in this vehicle, I will record myself and my screen at the same time to review everything that we have gone over up until that point, and now cater to you even more while you're away on a trip. You're going to see that extra effort. You're going to want to come back immediately, get that vehicle, and now have that interaction with the dealership. So great bonus points to know on this slide.
Awesome. So the final bullet point here that we're really drilling into here is boosting your CSIs, growing your referral base. Talk us through this.
So same thing with thank you for your business. Of course, you're now at thanking the customer for coming in and purchasing a vehicle, being a part of the dealership family. But what else are you doing? Besides just the reviews that you're getting in, you might have surveys. You want to get up your scores with your customers and have that 100% customer satisfaction each time. So with a video, not only are you able to touch on the point as to Thank you for coming in, Matthew. Second point is, hey, by the way, at the end of this video, you will see a leave a review button that you can go ahead and share your experience with me. Lastly, please check your email. In a few days from now, you will be receiving a survey to go ahead and tell us everything that we could have done better. If not, how can we go ahead and make sure to keep the same quality for the next customer? So this is the way that, again, it changes everything. You touch a few points while slowly sliding into it. You can go ahead and make this from 30 to 45 seconds, short and simple, and it touches on everything that you want to touch on.
That's a great point in terms of timing there. 30 to 45 seconds, short and sweet are good. Is there a time that's too long? If you're making a video, what's the ideal length, or what's too long for a video?
I always say, keep it short and simple. Matthew, if you're looking to come in and I send you a walk around on that tundra, I'm going to touch on 3 things. Maybe you want to know about the fuel, or maybe you want to know about how the interior looks and enough space to go hunting or go golfing. Those are your 3 points that you asked me about. So I'm going to stick to those 3. Now, you're still going to be curious as to the power of that truck. Are you able to, have a trailer in the back of it? But I'm not going to go over everything, because I want you to still come into the dealership. I want to give you just a little bit of a snack so you can come into the dealership for the actual entree and say, yeah, this is what I want. So, not trying to sell you on the video, just trying to give you a little bit so you want more.
That's great. And coming back here to the reviews bit, you'll see over here on this screenshot, it says review us on Facebook. So you have the ability, the one really thing that's neat about SnapSell is that landing page that's customizable. And so you can have the different call to actions there for the reviews specific for this kind of video. It's super powerful. And growing referrals, right? This was really important for you when you were a salesperson.
Yes, I think I'll say I love money, but everybody loves money. Everybody likes to market themselves in different ways. So the way I used to do it in sales, and thankfully SnapSell just has something for everything, you are able to download a QR code for every single video you create, which means not only are you able to use this on your used cars and go ahead and place that QR sticker on the, actual window sticker so the customer can scan it and view it, but guess what? You're also able to market yourself with that same QR code. Place it onto your business cards, make flyers, add it onto your email signature, making just a very, again, short introduction, about 30, 45 seconds, sharing how you're going to change the car buying experience for your customer. What this will do is insane. Anytime you go to a restaurant, or, you're trying to go to a gas station, anywhere like that, you're always going to leave your card. And now when the customer scans that, they will be able to request information from you directly. So now, hey, that's another customer for you. Again, referrals, flyers, it is the way to go if you like to market yourself like me and get your name every single where.
Awesome. And we briefly hit upon this kind of mapping to the consumer journey here. And for the most part, we haven't had any math in this presentation so far, but there's some numbers down there that just we've seen, the SnapSell have seen over the years have been doing this, that this stuff really works. Mari, how do you think about this?
Well, of course, I think this goes back to everything we've been speaking about already, because again, you already have kind of a lower open rate for emails, as you can see here, about 26%. With video, just the average is 45. Not to say that we don't have stores with 80% watch rate, but again, it's about personalization. How much are you willing to place into your customer? And it's really about that investment. How much are you willing to invest in this platform? Because about how much you're willing to invest is how much you're willing to get your customers to come back to you and engage. And that all starts at the new lead when it comes into your CRM, catering to them with that introduction, following up with the process. And even if you want to send some reminder videos, just as it says here, you will see an increase in that customer coming in. You will see an increase in just the overall satisfaction of that customer, whether they are buying or not, because whether they don't buy, now you have that client that is very happy, satisfied, willing to come back at any point or share you with now their family and friends. So of course, you can see here with the even 10% increase in show rates, 20% increase in CPI or CSIs, excuse me, where I just mentioned, you are not just sending that thank you video for a review. You're sending that to catch and tell the customer everything to expect even after the sale. Plus, including if you want to add in there an extra 15 seconds and introduce them to the service manager, you are now also getting that relationship, not just on the sales side, but also for service and parts. So something just to think about.
And if we had to distill this down to one big key takeaway here, and that's that some video is better than no video. But please, do your research, look at the video platforms that are out there. This is not something you want salespeople just doing on their own, using their own phone for a handful of reasons. One, it's not TCPA compliant. That's the kind of the boring but really important reason, because you can get fined $500 for every instance. So if they're sending out 50 videos a month and you got 10 people doing that, it's outrageous. Another great reason is that you want to be able to see and record and understand what they're sharing out. So are they following the talk tracks? Are they staying on point? Is their messaging right? And third, what really cool is like you can actually see when people are engaging with the videos. You want to be alerted. You want to be notified when people are watching those videos so that you know when to follow up. So do video, use some software built to do video is a great thing there. And we're not going to talk through all these examples in here right now. We wanted to include them so that you guys can see, here are some great examples of people who are doing this today. And what you're going to see here is production quality does not have to be amazing, doesn't have to take a long time, just got to be done, right? And you just got to think about the buckets you want to put things in and just go do it. All right. Yeah. So I think we're getting here close to, near to the end. So audience, think about any questions that you have for Mari about how do you get adoption, how do you drive usage, that kind of thing. But there's a lot of touch points for video, Mari. What if you had to pick some to focus on first? What's it really going to be?
Yeah, I mean, I think that for me, it's just knowing that the customer is being heard, and again, that the salesperson is listening. That was my biggest thing, is I wanted my customer to feel heard. So because of that, I always reiterated from our conversations. And I think that's the most important thing. If you had to choose out of everything, yeah, the introduction and the appointment videos are just as important, but really catering to those customers' needs and wants is everything. You don't want to tell the customer, hey, this is what you want, when you're already telling me, no, I want this, this, and that. I'm not going to change your mind on that. Instead, just reiterate, hey, Matthew, absolutely, we can do that for you. And just again, to confirm, this is what you wanted, right? So it just kind of takes away from the fact that the dealership is not trying to push you into something more or push you into something that you don't want.
Got it. All right. If you joined us late, Mari, thank you so much. We have reached the official end of kind of the best practices content. We'll do a little bit of wrap up here. We've got some questions coming in, so we'll get to those right now. If you haven't seen it on social media, we're giving away orange stuff every day of the week. Next week, the stuff you see there, chainsaws, coolers, guitar amplifiers, shoes. Find us there, follow us. You'll get the notifications. And if you don't have one yet, you can request your very own TradePending mascot. That's the wobbly bird. Use that link there. We'll leave that up for a second while I start to open up some questions. All right. The first one, probably the $1 million question. How do you get your salespeople to start doing this?
Guys, it starts with the leadership. You have to, the main thing that I do in an introduction, and I'll kind of walk you through it very quickly because I know that, we have more questions here, but it starts with leadership. If you sit your sales staff down and you say, hey, here is what we're using. Here are my expectations on it. Here is who your rep is. She already has all the information she needs. She knows that I want you guys to send introduction videos. Thank you for coming in and thank you for your business. Of course, you want them to use the entire platform, but you always choose 3 points for them to start with. This is going to guide them through the process. And now when they come in for training, they already know that I'm going to just follow behind. Hey guys, like your manager mentioned to you in that sales meeting, here are the 3 points that you want to touch on. Of course, now as a customer success manager, I'm going to be coming behind and ensuring that they are using this. And again, providing the examples, just like I provided for you today. Sometimes all it needs is really an explanation and an example, a guide through, if you will.
Got it. All right. I see a question from Sean. He's asking about video open rates, view rates. Sean, give us a little bit more context on your question there. We'll see if we can answer that one here. We have another question that's coming in, which I'll take a swing at, but Mari, if you know it already, you can answer it too. But what is it that you get fined for when sending videos? And I'm happy to explain that. But Mari, do you have a good answer for that one?
So I definitely would like to see what you have to say first,
Okay.
Matthew. However, I do have an answer kind of for them.
Yeah, so it's the Telecommunications Protections Act, the TCPA, which basically governs the types of messages that you can send and what you can do on a phone. And because all of this stuff is typically sent and received via phone, right, it is governed by the TCPA. Their fines are typically, last time I looked, $500 per violation, right? So if If you are found to be non-compliant, then it's $500 per instance. So if you have one salesperson who's sending out 10 videos a day and they send out 400 videos a month, you see those fines getting pretty high. It is enforced. To what degree? Not entirely sure, but is a couple $100 a month worth that kind of risk, right? All right, next question coming in. So do you typically see higher open rates on personal videos, higher engagement, that is?
So yes, we do. Of course, that's why I kept mentioning personalization. Like, yeah, you can do duplicate. I briefly touched on that. Yes, you can, but we're going to skip past that because yes, you want to send personalized videos. If all of you guys left here today and I sent each and every single one of you a video and I said, hey, thank you so much for joining the webinar today. It was a pleasure to see all of you guys. Of course, I didn't physically get to see you, but hey, you guys joined. You're part of the meeting, right? So it's just that personalization that you're going to say, oh, wow, you know, Maddie sent me a video. This is nice. Instead of something that is just a duplicate as to, hey, this is Maddie, you know, this and that, very generalized. You will see more open rates with a personalized video, especially with a personalized caption as well.
Got it. All right, we've got a question here from somebody who I think has been pushing the envelope. It's a great question from Jed. What type of intro videos, or what do they look like? Are you still sending walk around videos? He feels like they're outdated, and maybe there's another type of video that works best. And I'm saying he's a thought leader because maybe Jed's been doing videos for so long and walk arounds, he feels they're stale. But are they stale? What do you recommend for intro videos, Mari?
Yeah, so I think that it goes back to the personalization. Of course, you're paying attention to what the customer wants. So when the lead first comes in, because we integrate, you're able to see exactly what you see in your CRM. So let's say I'm looking for a 2022 Toyota Corolla, right? So that's what I'm interested in. Just emphasizing, hey, Matthew, thank you so much for your interest in the 2022 Toyota Corolla. Just wanted to show you a sneak peek. But before I do, of course, I'm going to be your salesperson. I'm going to be who you're working with. I'm very excited and looking forward to that. So just emphasizing and just making that introduction, making it known that you're excited to work with the customer and moving forward to kind of showing them the vehicle. Again, you want something small, not a lot, not a full-fledged walk around, but enough to just kind of say, here's a vehicle. I'm happy to answer more questions for you once you come in. So
I think it's fair to say that that's still tried and true. It is not worn out yet. That approach, that tactic still has a ton of life left in it there. All right, next question. When you think about training and onboarding, what does that process look like? Let's say you've got the management bought in and now you got to actually train the staff there. How's that go?
So before we even do any training with the users, I like to have 1 to 2 meetings with the manager or the person who's going to be in charge of SnapSell. Sometimes that's the GSM, sometimes that's the BDC manager. Whoever it may be, I will sit down with them, similar to the Zoom call now, kind of get your expectations. Why do you like SnapSell? You know, because the reason why you like SnapSell is the reason why you're bought in. Okay, is that reason the same reason why you want your staff to do this? Is you want them to send more introduction videos, or you want them to cater in this way? Just kind of getting a feel for what the manager is looking to implement in their store. Once I have that idea, once I have that circle, now I'm able to jump in that training with the sales staff and say, hey guys, here's what you're going to be doing. Here's my cell phone number. And here I am going to be to hold your hand until you guys are kind of ready to fly on your own, right?
Got it. Thank you. And with that, we are basically out of time. We're at the half-hour mark. Thank you so much, Mari, for joining us today. Thank you, everyone else, for joining us today. And we will see you on the next one.
Thank you, guys.